It's Mardi Gras, and we're with Ocala Eye. Very empty room today. Zora Harrison is the only representative from Ocala Eye in with us today. Good morning, Zora. How you doing?
Great. How are you?
Oh, if you get your microphone turned on. One of these microphones, one of these buttons does it. Good morning.
Good morning.
There
That's better.
There you are. So you're alone today?
I am flying solo.
Oh, Mardi Gras?
Yeah, I think that's where everybody is. They're off celebrating Mardi Gras. They left me to work today.
Mardi Gras, and then that's tomorrow, Valentine's Day?
I know. I was just telling you about all the mall's kind of busy, all these last-minute shoppers.
You know what I like seeing? Big men with little tiny bags.
Those jewelry bags.
A lot of those, yeah.
I know. As I was sitting here, I watched a couple walk out already with some little
really?
bags.
Little tiny bags. Or big men with pink bags.
Oh, yeah.
What is that store that sells?
Victoria's Secret, yeah.
Yeah, we all know that store too.
Yeah. Great day for the mall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I go in that store. I'm very uncomfortable. It's like, okay, can I just not look at anything and just...
Listen, if you don't want to be uncomfortable, just come to our optical shop and buy a facial, right? That's the best
there you go.
Valentine's.
So there you go.
And there's nothing uncomfortable about that.
There you go. Hey, speaking of uncomfortable, I want to bring up a story, and I'm glad I shared it with you before we went on the air.
Me too.
Because, I was thinking, I bet you this is more common than I realized. There were a lady had worms.
14 worms.
14 worms
Yeah.
in her eye.
Yes.
Now, have you ever heard of this before?
No.
And where was that again? I can't remember where that was.
This was, where's she at? Southern Canada?
Okay.
Is that right?
So not a third world country.
No.
I mean, it's here in North America. Okay.
Yeah. She pulled a worm out herself, and then she was an Oregon woman, though, from Oregon. But yeah, so this article that you shared with me was that she had 14 worms from some type of rare infection that you get from these flies, and they call them face flies.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm thinking to myself, and it even said, oh, Nikki's going to join us. She's walking up now. These flies, they said that could be even included in cats and dogs. So, but I will have to say, this is the first I've heard of it. So I don't think it's
so
local.
Can I tell you my worry?
Yeah,
because I've had this reoccurring sty.
Yeah.
I keep thinking, maybe that's a worm in there. How do you know?
I don't think it is.
Come on, Nikki.
I don't think it is. Because this lady's symptoms were very specific. She had a really bad eye irritation. So Nikki, he's shared with me this article about this lady that is from Oregon that pulled 14 worms out of her eye, and he's concerned because of his sty.
Yeah.
Is it the same? So no, I don't think it is. And to my knowledge, we've not pulled any of these creatures out of anyone's eye at our practice, but.
But
it's definitely...
Here's the thing that I'm wondering. She's in Oregon.
Yeah.
Now, we're in more of a tropical... You would think it would be more likely to happen here than there.
Well, I mean, from what it sounds like, she had been horseback riding through and fishing in Golden Beach, Oregon, or a coastal... I guess it's like a cattle farming area.
Oh, okay.
So it sounds like these things kind of get in your tear film and embed.
Where?
In your tear film. Okay. So I got to say, this is just... I think it's very rare.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes.
And I don't think I will go to Oregon horseback riding near the cattle farm. But
definitely not mess with my eyes.
But no.
I want the listeners to know that this is a good opportunity to call if you have questions about eyeglasses or eye care in general, and we want to make sure we have subjects that are broad enough that we have a lot of people who can relate to them. But I just had to share that one. I'm assuming we don't have anybody who's ever had a worm in their eye. In our audience.
Not that I am aware of.
Yeah. But have you had weird stories? I mean, things like that, or?
No, I don't think about. I don't think worms, but I mean, I think that just some stories we've heard, not necessarily things I've seen, but pencils in the eye and
I think
back when we've never really seen trauma per se,
right?
But
we send that to the Shans.
Patients that have made it in that
or post those things.
Imaging.
Yeah.
Way back when, I remember the guy came in with the nail in his eye. We sent him straight to Shan's, but I mean, some things like that have crossed our paths, but because we're not really a trauma facility, we don't see some of that.
Do you ever have a young mom with a new baby and the baby just scratches the eye accidentally?
Sure,
I'm guessing that must happen a lot, right?
And sometimes they can be born with the blocked tear ducts, and we see things like that.
Oh, the baby.
The baby
has blocked. Oh, really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We don't normally treat that. We try to get that to a pediatric ophthalmologist. I mean, it just depends.
Yeah.
We don't really have a pediatric center practice, you know, but we have seen it on occasion.
Yeah, Ron and I saw a baby in a stroller one time. Remember, the baby had really thick glasses. I think it was
very thick glasses.
And the mother was saying they're brand new, and the baby really can't see without them, and he's just amazed at what he's seeing now. So
those videos, I love those videos.
It just breaks my heart, you know. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, I think this was at the Market of Marion, right?
Yeah,
it was like at the flea market, and so the baby was just seeing things for the first time.
And it's always to me like, how did they know? I mean, when they're an infant.
I know.
Right. I mean,
they say they don't fix and follow things.
Yeah. Or they're not looking at things properly.
How does the doctor know?
One of my sons actually ended up having, I didn't catch it till he was 8, so I felt like a terrible mom because I've been in eyes for forever, but he has a lazy eye, and when I got his vision checked, he was 2200 in that eye, and he's never complained about his vision, and I thought, oh gosh. So wow. He's got what they consider refractive amblyopia because he's got over 3 diopters of sil in that eye. So I didn't know that, so we had to go through the whole patching thing to get his vision back better. I mean, he's correctable to 20/30 now, which is great. So, but I mean, I didn't know, and I'm in the industry.
Yeah.
I mean,
and you used a few terms in that were over my head, to be honest with you. But I remember my son too. He might have been about 8 or 9 or 10, something like that. Remember, we were watching TV, and he said, "You would think that they would put the lettering clear because it was like some." And I said, "That's not clear to you." And at that time, my eyes worked. Now they're.
You're like, they just don't know how to do this.
What normally happens though is when both eyes are open, your brain doesn't really know which one it's getting the clear image from. So when you're seeing something, you're just seeing it clear. So unless they're doing this to really be able to tell, kids don't. Well, I guess for adults for that matter, because you don't really walk around and do that. But unless you actually compare them,
you don't realize
to your brain it doesn't matter. It's getting a clear image. It doesn't know if it's getting it from one eye or both eyes. So unless you have it checked out, some people just don't realize it.
So in my son's case, he ended up having glasses his whole life, and now just a couple of years ago, he actually
had LASIK with that.
He went to Ocala Eye, and now he doesn't wear glasses at all.
I know. So it's amazing. LASIK is just a beautiful thing.
Yes,
if you have the right prescription, it's amazing.
You have a phone call coming in. Let's take this call. Good morning. Thank you for calling. You're on the air.
Yes, thank you. The wife woke up, one of her eyes was really red, and she claims that probably during her sleep that she might have hit her eye and broke a blood vessel, because it had happened before in her life, never to me. It looks pretty bad. Should she really go see an eye doctor for that, or was that kind of like go away on itself?
Well, we always say that it's best to have it checked out. I mean, a subconj hemorrhage could happen from anything. She could have scraped her eyes, she could have sneezed, she could have coughed. They can just happen for no reason, especially if we take things like aspirin or other types of blood thinners. But it's always safe to have the eye doctor examine it. It doesn't sound like it's emergent if she has not had a change in her vision and she is not in pain. But if she's on any type of medicines that alter the blood, she may just want to let that doctor know that she's having that symptom, and they always they almost get worse before they get better because that blood has to be reabsorbed. So sometimes it goes through those same phases of bruise. It starts out kind of with a small bruise, and the next day you're like, what happened? I have a huge bruise. So sometimes that happens, it just spreads to the tissue around. So
and I would say as long as she doesn't really have any other symptoms going along with it, she's got no pain, no decrease in vision, no other things that are
associated with that.
Yeah, that definitely makes it in our from that symptom a non-emergent issue. But if it's definitely something that's reoccurring, she may want to have it checked out because it could be a medication that she's taking that is causing those. And while they're not harmful to the eye, no one wants to have them on a regular basis.
Yeah, I know she said in her past that she had bumped her eye or whatever happened, and it caused the vessel to pop. And it looks terrible, God. And how would they treat something like that? With eye drops or surgery?
There's no treatment for it. Just like there's no treatment to make a bruise go away any quicker than it can. Those little blood vessels are very, very delicate. I mean, you could cough hard and break one, sneeze, strain to pick something up, and they break for no reason.
And I mean, with the cold flu season going around, I've seen everybody with these little bloodshot, kind of irritated eyes. But yeah, like Nikki said, time takes time. It just takes time for them to reabsorb. They go through the same phases a bruise does. I mean, we see people that heal quickly because they're typically someone that does. But if you're a person that kind of slowly heals, then it may take a little longer. But like I said, if she feels any, it's always best to have a doctor take a look if you think that something has changed or if they're recurring. It doesn't sound like it's anything emergent, but definitely tell her her primary care if she's on any medications that may change or alter the blood. That might be something that they're not too concerned about, but want to follow up on if it happens again.
Does the eye have the ability to make a new vessel?
Well, it just kind of seals itself off and it heals, if you will. So she had a little leak, or it could have been a big leak. It just depends. But yes, there's nothing that needs to be done surgically. There's no kind of intervention that needs to happen. The body just takes care of it.
Yeah. Well, we'll wait a couple of days, I think, and then if it doesn't look like it's getting any better, we'll have her go in.
That's awesome. I mean, anytime if you notice a change, she says, "Oh, my eye's painful now," or "I've got a change in vision," and then you can always use some tears because sometimes that extra blood, you feel it. You feel that that little bit of swelling that it causes. So the tears do help that sometimes to go away. The irritation.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I hadn't heard that one before.
That's one
They're
of the
scary when they happen.
Yeah, they are. They look really bad. And sometimes it's even more nerve-wracking because as they kind of heal,
Yes.
just like a bruise does, they kind of
Get
change
worse,
color.
yeah.
So they can kind of get that yellow,
And then look worse as it's
yellowish
getting
green
better.
color.
Yeah, which
and
looks infected, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're visually looking at yourself or someone sees you,
Yes.
You question,
Yeah.
like, is this normal?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what's wonderful about Ocala Eye. It's the sense of camaraderie between all of the workers there, because you all respect whatever everybody's doing, and you're all there to help the patient.
Yeah, absolutely. If you need that reassurance, we're happy to give it to you,
We are. I was on call this weekend actually, and I had several emails that I had received from doctors that, hey, I saw this patient, can you call them and follow up and just check and see how they're doing on Saturday or
that's nice,
Sunday.
yeah.
So I had called patients, I had calls coming in for patients with problems, but I had called patients just
That's
to follow
nice,
up to see how they were doing after they had started their initial treatment, because the doctor wanted to make sure that they were okay.
We should do that, Robin. After an interview, we should call them up the next day. Hey, I can show you. Okay.
It's so funny when you do call, the patient they're kind of taken back. They're like,
They
oh.
were this weekend. They were very surprised.
But I think
the doctors
pleasantly
do
surprised.
care.
Yes, yeah, they are. And the patients will stay on their minds like, hey, do you mind? And of course, if there's a problem, they want to see the patient. So.
Right.
Can I ask you ladies to brag a little bit about what you're doing in Haiti? I got a picture off of Lindsay's Facebook page, so I'm going to put that on here, and it looks like it's Lindsay working on somebody in Haiti.
Yeah, and that's not. I don't know if that's Lindsay or Stephanie.
That one's Lindsay.
That one's Lindsay. Okay, and I'll try to even share some more. She sent me last night. Yes, I'm going to brag. We have 2 cataract surgeons over there, and actually, Dr. Amal was doing I think a little glaucoma too.
And 3 technicians.
3 technicians.
Wow.
Yeah.
One's scrubbing in surgery. So one's helping them with surgery because she's a certified scrub tech.
And Lindsay and Stephanie are down there getting those patients seen and ready and determining who needs surgery and who needs glasses. And
I think she said they saw 80 or 100 patients the first day, and they had done at least
19, I think she said, cataracts.
I was going to say, I think she said like 12 of them were very difficult, like super, super
Which
difficult.
is really hard.
Wow.
They're working under, not the same conditions we work under here. So it sounds, I have some pictures where Dr. Deaton is out there in the clinic looking at patients. Dr. Amala was upstairs in surgery. They were switching places. And it's really,
one of them had a line of the patients waiting outside the door to be seen.
We'll have to send you some pictures of what the patients, kind of waiting in line. And Lindsay sent me a video of a lady. She didn't make it in the clinic. She went into labor.
Oh my goodness!
In the patio area, or like on the sidewalk. So she sent it to me last night.
She delivered the baby.
She did. No. Lindsay just videoed it, but she didn't video the whole entire thing. But the lady couldn't even make it inside. She had. They had to deliver, I guess, the baby right there. But so there's just a lot of things going on right now over there, and they're enjoying it. They are having so much fun.
All of these are people that were waiting.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Wow, waiting for eye care.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
And the children, she was telling me, that they have children that come and volunteer and help them process these patients.
Speaking of volunteer, and this is all volunteer.
It's
on your
all
part.
volunteer.
Yeah, yeah.
100% volunteer.
They use their own vacation time to go.
They paid their own way
Yep,
to go. The surgeons took their time off to go, and they thoroughly enjoy it, you know, and it's so neat to see the team that goes over there. It's a huge team. They take up, not that this is a big hotel, but the little place that they stay, they take up, the volunteers take up the whole thing. So she's been trying to chat with us on Wi-Fi every once in a while about it, but.
So when you do the cataract surgery over there in Haiti, do you do both eyes on a patient at the same time because of the time constraint?
No, ma'am. They don't. They kind of do. They try to get the patient to where they're seeing at least out of one eye. Hopefully, on our trips back, we'll get the second eye if it's needed. But the goal really is to try to get them seeing. So, and it's just really risky to do two eyes on the same day.
If
that's
God forbid there was an infection.
Yeah, it's not the best way to do it. I mean, even in our practice, you have to show that you're healing well and that everything is going great before we touch the other eye. So they don't do it any different there.
Yeah.
And if worms can get in your eye in Oregon, they can probably get in your eye in Haiti.
Yeah, imagine. Yeah.
We've been just so blessed though with the amount of donations.
They took. I can't even remember.
They were well prepped.
Did they take 12 bags?
Maybe, I think supplies? 13 suitcases just full of supplies.
They all put their stuff just in backpacks for the carry-on, so they used their 2 luggage apiece to take supplies, and they were filled to the max with supplies.
Just our local and our regional reps have just been so wonderful about helping out. I think this program will continue to grow and flourish, and we'll do more and more work to see these clinics be successful.
It's amazing. I don't know if the local newspaper has covered it, but if Star Banner, if you're listening, there's a story here.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's incredible.
It is.
So if when they give the eye exams there and they need glasses, do you have an optician on site that actually makes the lenses?
Well, what they do is we have, people donate throughout the year to the Lions Club, and, Lions Club's got oodles of glasses. So basically what they do is they read all those glasses so they know what the prescription is in those lenses, and whatever's the closest that they have to meet that patient's needs, they give them that pair.
Donated to them.
So they don't have, they don't fit them for basically ones exactly they need, but it's close enough to at least give them some good viable vision.
Wow.
So
wonderful.
So you just told me something I didn't know, that you can actually read the prescription.
Yes, they do.
What, just by...
We put them on their lensometer.
Wow.
When you come in, we know, we can even do it with contacts. It's not as easy as contacts, but we can read the prescription.
Why is it that in years gone by, I've seen people with what you call bottle
Coke bottle glasses?
You don't see that anymore.
No, that was back when they used either the patient for whatever reason couldn't have a lens put in when they had surgery. They couldn't have a lens put inside the eye, or maybe they had some kind of trauma and their natural lens was moved. Your natural lens has a lot of power in it. So when we take that out and we don't replace it, you have to have it replaced somewhere to give you sight. So it was in the glasses lens before. So that's why they look so thick.
Yeah.
Made your eyeball look so big.
I thought that you could just do the same thing with refracting light with a thinner piece of glass, but I guess...
Well, that's true too, but...
that is true.
Oh, okay.
But the old Coke bottle that you're talking about, usually those were, we call them aphakic glasses, so you didn't, you don't have a natural lens because it's been removed or you've lost it, and you don't have an artificial what we call a posterior chamber.
So literally without glasses, they can't see. They're basically blind.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you're able to correct that if a person comes in for LASIK surgery? Are they a candidate for that?
No, LASIK wouldn't be able to treat that, but we do what we call a secondary lens, or we can go back and put a lens in the eye if that happens.
Itself.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. How wonderful.
It's pretty neat. But luckily that doesn't happen this day and age too often.
We've kind of jumped over that threshold.
Yeah.
It used to be
they're not common.
Yeah, it's not as common now because most patients are receiving a lens or have been for the last many years when it's time for them to have cataract surgery. So,
have you at night ever driven past a church with this gigantic bright sign out in the front lawn? Or maybe not church, but a business.
Yeah.
But and I'm not picking on churches at all, but these new signs that they have out there. I saw an insurance company, and they had a little movie going outside on
like
Pine.
an ID sign thing. Yeah.
That might be a little distracting when you're driving, but
But I'm wondering if at night when it's so bright,
Yeah.
it's really distracting for me, and I'm wondering is that I guess everybody is just as distracted as I am. It's just
yeah, I mean, this is what I will tell
it's
you.
not
I
an
know
eye thing, I'm guessing.
everybody's a little can be. It's so funny to me. Some people can walk around with no sunglasses and it doesn't bother them, and then others they can't walk outside. They're that sensitive. Same thing with driving at night. So I think that's what's wonderful about our opticians is if you go in and you say, I don't wear glasses, I wear contacts, but I'm struggling with sun or I'm struggling with these signs.
Oh, really?
They have glasses that they call driving glasses that you can purchase. They don't have to have a prescription in them that will help to cut that glare away or the brightness away.
Really? Mm-hmm. Was that like polarized or something?
Sometimes they're just tinted. Like golfers that usually we hear it the most from people that play golf, they need this contrast, and I think it's an amber, isn't it?
Really?
Yeah, and that helps them to see the green better. But they say, oh, I drive in these. I can see so much better.
So what is the science behind the polarized lens? What exactly does the light do? Is it
Well, it has
easy
to do with the way
explain?
it filters it. I mean, like at night, I would have to say a majority of people, young or old, don't see as well at night, and I think some of that just in turn is, your eye itself is its own entity, so it's trying to help you. So at night, when it's dark, your pupil gets bigger to try to let in more light. So that in turn causes you to have glare that you don't normally have during the day.
Right.
Even for young people, I don't feel like I
don't
see
drive as well
at
at night. No, I agree.
Just, so as you age, that only becomes more of an issue because
Yes.
your
I know.
lens becomes stiff and you can't accommodate, and then you get the start of cataract.
It's like a vicious cycle, isn't it?
So, I think that it just is kind of
always want to turn back the clock. 'Cause when I was young, I used to drive at night all the time, and I loved it. Now I can't. I hate it. I hate driving.
I think that's because of the prescription. When you have the proper glasses, I think you'll be more confident. But that's something you want to make sure you tell your optician because there are coatings and things like that they can put on them. My dad wears a yellow tinted Nike driving pair of glasses that every time he puts them on, every time he gets in the car he puts them on, and I'm like, does it really help? And he says, oh my gosh, it makes such a big difference. So he's had cataract surgery and he thinks that they're just the best thing. So if you tell us, hey, I'm struggling with this, with golf, bowling, you name it. I mean, fishing,
bowling. That's a large ball. How could you not see that?
No, I think that bowling.
I think it has to do with just being able to see the lane.
Yeah.
And, you do get some glare off the lane. I don't know what they're...
It's kind of funny.
I'm not
the
a good
things,
bowler, so I don't know.
I blame it on that too. But it is funny what we hear when people come in and say, "Now this is my sport. I enjoy this." Just last week, I heard a patient. I was walking through, and I heard him talking about bird watching to his optician, and he said, "I like to bird watch." And I'm having a hard time, and he was in polarized glasses. And I think sometimes he's in like a enclosed, like in a car or something. Anyhow, I heard him saying that he needed something different, and she was telling him about these tints, and I didn't know what she was talking about because I'm not an optician, but she helped him, and I'm like, okay, bird watching's a new one. So she just listened to him, and she said, well, let's try this. Let's see if this makes a difference. So, I guess it just really depends. If you have something you love to do,
do you know, I have a little story I want to share with you. I used to work for 3 years at an assisted living facility. And so there was an old man there who asked me if I could take him fishing. So I said, yeah, I guess so. I asked the boss, and she said, well, you can't do it on a weekday because you got to have an activity every hour. I was the activities director.
Oh, okay.
But Saturday, feel free. So I would come in Saturday, Robin would come in, and we took 7 people. The van only held 9, and there was 2 of us. So we went to... the damn diner. What's that place called over there with the dam? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yes.
There's a dam.
Atanacawaha.
There's a dam there, and there's fishing. So this guy wanted to go fishing, and so did the other people. And it turned out, no, none of the other people wanted to go fishing. They just wanted to get out. And so I discovered this thing like, oh my gosh, well, let's just do this thing called a mystery ride every week, and we'll just go someplace. I don't know where it's going to be.
That's amazing.
So what's that got to do with bird watching is there was a lady there who was blind. And she had gone blind in her older years. And she could identify birds by her hearing.
Oh,
by the way they sound.
Yeah, so she was like a bird listener instead of a bird watcher. And it was just amazing to me that I could say, well,
sound
and she would just tell me, oh, that's, and the truth is, I couldn't tell you if she was right or wrong.
Right.
Right.
That's a blue-tailed whippoorwill. Okay. Well,
Sounds good to me.
I would have done the same thing.
But that's incredible that's a real gift. That's really giving. And you know what? I think that we take for granted. Mm-hmm. We take for granted that it just, going out and getting in the van and going somewhere would be.
Yeah, you just don't realize.
Going outside of a building.
Yeah. So crazy.
A little trip somewhere, being able to get in your car and go
We
somewhere.
took them to this pontoon boat thing in Homosassa one time, and it was like $7 a person or something like that. It was really beautiful.
Oh, wow.
There was a manatee in the water. Remember that?
Yeah, I do.
That's
you could have a snack.
incredible.
They like their snacks.
Yeah.
I think we all like our snacks.
We do like our snacks.
Down the river.
We love that we give out snacks sometimes because patients will get, doctor will get called into surgery or something and they'll get behind. And so we have a little thing where we'll say, okay, it's snack time.
Crackers
they love
and
it.
Cookies and little packages.
Nobody likes to wait, and that's something that's our 2018 goal to improve on is wait times. But
I think what you're
really
doing as part of this radio show, I think what you're doing is you're letting people see the inside story of what you do, and
we do.
And the story of giving snacks out. That's just they sound like nothing to you, but it might mean everything to somebody else. Oh, they're my kind of people. They give out snacks,
Yes, and and you know what? We want to recognize that your time is valuable to us, and so that is a little bit about who we are and how we're trying to do more to give back.
I love these visits with you, ladies.
We do too.
I wasn't looking at the clock.
I know it's time.
Do you know what? Today is Mardi Gras.
Oh, that's right.
So I got Mardi Gras music to take you out. Thank you, Zora. Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you.
Ocala what's the phone number over there?
622-5183 and ocalai.com.
Are you going to get a king cake today? Do you know what a king cake is?
No.
Oh, it's a Mardi Gras cake.
Oh,
no.
And it's got a little baby Jesus buried into it. I mean, baked into it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't eat it. It's plastic.
Okay. Didn't know about that.
If you get it,
I didn't know Jesus had anything to do with Mardi Gras, but I don't know a lot about Mardi Gras. So.
Well, I think Mardi Gras started out as a religious holiday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not anymore.
Not anymore.
Yeah, but tomorrow is Ash Wednesday, so.
Oh, that makes sense.
That
Yeah, I
is
knew
right.
about Ash Wednesday, so.
Thank you.
Well, thank you guys. See you next week.
Be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
This is James Snyder, inviting you to join me each Sunday morning at 9:30 for Sunday Joy on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Here is your 30-second news brief. Human trafficking victims would be able to sue hotels under a bill that passed the Florida Senate committee yesterday. President Donald Trump will be in Orlando on Friday. A 35-year-old Summerfield man was killed yesterday in a head-on collision on County Road 42. A Naples judge has been arrested in an undercover prostitution sting. And a Harrier hound from Ocala